Marcelo Bielsa is a manager revered as a tactical god by modern football's greatest minds. Elite coaches like Pep Guardiola hail him as a visionary, looking past a trophy cabinet that lacks major international or European club titles. His influence comes from his results with the overlooked. He takes mid-table squads, groups of mid-tier athletes, and trains them to operate as high-performing machines. To most of us, building wealth looks like a game reserved for natural-born geniuses, leaving the average earner stuck on the sidelines. By extracting 5 core principles from Bielsa's footballing methodology, we can build a specific, high-output framework for personal wealth. Financial security follows a strict, replicable methodology, effectively bypassing the need for innate brilliance or lucky breaks. Bielsa believes there are 2 types of players: the rare, divine geniuses, and everyone else. Since he usually coaches everyone else, his life's work is figuring out how to break down the inexplicable actions of a genius into learnable steps. This diagram illustrates a complex football passing sequence, deconstructed into measurable geometric variables. Bielsa and his staff analyzed 50,000 matches, tracking every detail to identify 36 distinct types of passing associations. By utilizing strict automated repetition and training, players don't have to think on the pitch. They simply execute the learned loop, allowing non-geniuses to solve complex problems effortlessly. Investing works the exact same way. You don't need the innate, stock-picking genius of a billionaire like Warren Buffett to grow your net worth. You achieve financial security by replacing talent with methodology. Setting up automatic monthly contributions into broad index funds, a strategy known as dollar-cost averaging, removes the guesswork and captures the market's historical growth. In modern football training, coaches love small-sided games, shrinking the field to practice quick passes. Bielsa refuses to use them. He argues that shrinking the boundaries eliminates the 40-meter sprint and ignores the reality of open space. Practicing in an artificially constrained environment leaves players totally exposed during an actual match. Investors fall into the exact same trap. Gambling on day trading, chasing crypto spikes, and short-term hacks are financial small-sided games. They ignore the massive macroeconomic realities driving the global market. Lasting wealth requires training for the full pitch. You have to plan for long time horizons, factor in decades of inflation, and let compound interest do the heavy lifting. In professional sports, a player's ideal weight is usually determined by calibers and body mass index. Bielsa defines it by watching a player over 30 days. If they play consistently well and remain free of anxiety, whatever they weigh during that month becomes their official target. He knows that the human mind dictates physical output. Driven by a spirit of competition and pride, an athlete can push past physical limitations and perform the impossible, even if they are technically carrying extra weight. You can build a mathematically flawless strategy to maximize your returns, but if a sudden spike in market volatility terrifies you into panic selling, the math becomes completely useless. Your ideal financial weight is the specific level of risk tolerance that allows you to sleep peacefully during a massive market crash. Bielsa operates on a very simple rule regarding effort. A player who runs constantly might lack technique, but they will never play a bad game. Lacking natural talent, his squads outwork opponents, using blistering physical conditioning and endless sprinting to overwhelm the pitch. The unpredictable nature of stock market returns is entirely outside your control. You cannot dictate what a share price will do tomorrow. Maintaining a high, consistent savings rate provides the most reliable insulation against market volatility, regardless of external conditions you cannot control. Historically, Argentine football was split. Coaches like Carlos Bilardo embodied extreme defensive pragmatism, while others championed aggressive attacking idealism. Bielsa took both, synthesizing defensive solidity with a relentless forward press. This complex tactical fusion only succeeds because he forces his teams to unite around 4 or 5 absolute core values. Wealth building requires a similar synthesis. You are constantly negotiating between the defensive need to save for tomorrow and the aggressive desire to spend for today. Success hinges on defining your absolute financial rules, like always securing the employer 401k match or refusing to ever carry credit card debt, and never breaking them. Bielsa's legacy lives in the permanent elevation of every player and club he manages, far outlasting the impact of any single trophy. Applying his methodology to your money removes the reliance on lucky breaks, lottery tickets, or finding a genius stock pick. It shifts financial control completely back to you, rewarding rigid preparation, intense discipline, and a willingness to execute the repetitive work consistently. Extraordinary wealth, much like breathtaking football, is achievable for the average earner when driven by a rigorous, battle-tested methodology and absolute emotional clarity.